I want to make three brief points following on, I think, what Nadia has already said about the US-Russian relations. The first and quite brief one is it's important to remember that the US-Russian relationship had begun to improve slightly even before 9/11 with the June summit in Slovenia, when President Bush looked into President Putin's eyes and got a sense of his soul. We had begun to work on energy cooperation. We were doing some things in the area of media. But 9/11 was a serious impulse to improve relations, and particularly in the initial weeks after the terrorist attacks. Russia did provide significant intelligence and logistical support to the early phases of the American operation in Afghanistan. And in fact, that led to the very quick overthrow of the Taliban. And we put al-Qaeda on the run very, very quickly, having achieved what President Biden now says was our main goal in going into Afghanistan. That said, and this is my second point, the tensions in the relationship were evident from the very beginning, internal contradictions in the way we dealt with terrorism. Take Afghanistan itself. The United States was really focused on dealing with al-Qaeda. The Taliban were a secondary concern, and we went after the Taliban because they were harboring al-Qaeda, not because we had any particular grievances against the Taliban per se. For Russia, on the other hand, it always struck me that the real target was the Taliban, a group that was sponsoring extremist organizations that were creating problems in Central Asia, particularly in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan, a group that had recognized the Chechen separatists as an independent state. So while on the surface it looked like we had a shared interest, really what we had was an alignment of different interests that was focused on the Taliban and came centered in Afghanistan at that point. More broadly, it was clear from the very beginning that we had radically different views of what the terrorist threat was. As I said, for the United States, it was al-Qaeda. That is an alien force that attacked the United States from outside its borders and did this to undermine the American system. Remember President Bush's famous question, why do they hate us? And the answer, because of our freedoms. So we saw this as an assault on the American system of values, the American society in a major way. If you look at Russia, the quintessential terrorist threat was the Chechens, a group of separatists who wanted to take a part of Russia away from Russia, a threat to Russia's territorial integrity, a threat to the state. But the goal of the Chechen rebels was not to destroy Russia as a political entity. And is this difference in the way we thought about terrorism and the nature of the challenge, I think that led to disappointment in the nature of the intelligence cooperation after the initial phase. We always wanted Russian intelligence on al-Qaeda. The Russians wanted our intelligence on Chechnya. But quite frankly, neither intelligence service was devoting a great deal of attention to what was a secondary threat from their standpoint.